What's up, everyone? It's Evan back at Fit First here in Burnaby, here to do my top 5 cushion running shoes of 2024. We're going to talk about the winners, the big hitters, what's working on the sales floor, and again, like all of our videos, we're going to come at it from that shoe fitter's angle. So what are we taking into consideration when we're ranking our top 5 shoes of 2024? Consistency of fit, how versatile it is when we're pulling it on the shoe floor, how versatile, how is it for me to pull as a tool in my toolbox as a shoe fitter. We're also thinking about versatility and longevity. How much value can I get from the shoe? These shoes are getting more and more expensive. You want to be able to use it for a lot of things, or it better be really darn good at one thing. So versatility, getting the most kind of bang for your buck is a factor. Another factor that we're thinking about is community feedback. So customer feedback, staff feedback, maybe what I've been running in and personal preferences. Those 3 things are really what we're taking into consideration when we're thinking about the top 5 cushion running shoes of 2024. And of course, we got to mix in a little bit of conflict. I'm going to call out 2 shoes that maybe I thought were going to be on that list, and really just did not deliver. Disappointed, didn't do what I was expecting them to do. And hey, they might be back next year. So in no particular order, let's start with our top 5. Let's go here. Okay, so the Brooks Ghost Max 2. This shoe came out in the summer, coming off the Ghost Max 1. This is a new series for Brooks. This is their introduction to stiff rocker high cushion. I'm really impressed with this shoe. This shoe did so well for us because of its fit. Mainly, I'm going to call out its depth and accommodation. It comes in multiple widths, so we carry it from medium wide to extra wide in both genders. And that really allowed for me as a shoe fitter to fit so many different people. I can accommodate orthotics. I can fit wide feet in here. It grabs the heel really nicely. This really nice wide base from Brooks made for a supportive feel, but didn't get too chunky. Some of the other competitors were huge, like a paddle on your foot. Awesome customer feedback at 189 Canadian. The value is there. Colors were right. Brooks did an awesome job with this update. Let's just hope they don't break it in 2025. Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's jump over to Hoka. Okay, so Hoka, oh my gosh, everybody is asking for Hoka right now. When Hoka came out with the Skyflow, I thought, do we really need this shoe? It's pretty much a Clifton and pretty much a Bondi. Clifton at 180, Bondi at 200, Skyflow comes in at 190, and you know what? This ended up being a really important shoe for us. It's a little more alive than the Clifton. There's a little more to it. Slimmer, less kind of structured, less robust than the Bondi. It really settled into the shoe, this person who, yeah, I want a well-cushioned shoe, but I need something that's supportive. The biggest difference with this model that, again, for a shoe fitter that really helped me is the heel counter was considerably firmer than either the Clifton or the Bondi, and it just locked that foot in really nicely. The cushion was a lot more alive, like I said, a little bouncier than the Clifton, but just nowhere near as thick and kind of just ridiculous as the Bondi 8 was. Customer feedback was awesome. Skyflow, worth checking out. It's going to be around for a little longer, so it's not too late to grab your pair. Let's maybe pivot to one of these not so good stories. I don't want to pick on anybody, but I'm going to jump over to the Saucony Endorphin Speed 4. This Endorphin Speed line, has been for a while the kind of pinnacle in this kind of pseudo-plated $220 trainer that you can kind of race in, but is also great for training. The version 2 was probably my favorite. It was the stiffest. It was a little bit narrow, but it definitely had this really nice stiff pop. The 3 kind of came in and got a little bit more flexible. And then the 4, they changed some geometrical shaping here. The toe box never quite fit right. People who were buying it were still buying it with like, it could be better. And the plate, it just got a little too flexible for us. It didn't give that value of spring me forward. Now, the version 5 comes out early 2025, so let's hope Saucony listened to some feedback and kind of pivoted back to what they saw in the version 2. But that Endorphin Speed 4, they still sold really well. They still were sold out everywhere. I think it's tough to even get a pair anywhere in Canada right now. But that being said, I think it's kind of mooching off the name or the heritage that it had. So, bit of a letdown. We will be back with the V5. We trust it's going to be back, but V4 didn't quite do well in that Endorphin Speed series. Let's jump back to the positive. Let's jump over to the On Cloud Eclipse. This is a personal favorite of mine, and maybe I'm letting my bias step in here. I freaking love this shoe. This shoe supports the foot so well. This is a pure running shoe. You will not want to play a random game of pickleball or a gym workout or anything. You'll want to run in this shoe, and that's about it. It's a high stack. This kind of cloud tech, really kind of, these dominoes kind of fall in line. You really roll off the forefoot. It completely protects the ball of the foot. After my runs and after customer feedback coming back in, you're just less tired. There's less stress. There's less strain, particularly on the ball of the foot. The colorways are always nice from On. It's a unique look. It's a little bit different. They managed to avoid getting rocks or anything. Maybe there's one complaint that that kind of plate that's exposed makes some noise, but I never really found it bothered me. But the Cloud Eclipse, yes, I know it came out late 2023. I'm looping into the 2024 models because that's really when it was in season and hit that spring 2024 series. I'm hearing the Cloud Eclipse is kind of going away. It's getting a rebrand. We can maybe talk more about that in the fall, but Cloud Eclipse, jump on that while you can. I love this shoe. This is maybe bias. It's just so good. It's just so good. Speaking of good, the New Balance Super Comp Trainer. I'm pulling this shoe, and it's kind of the most expensive of the bunch that I've pulled here. At $250, I really see this shoe as a really versatile, solid shoe that's going to cover a lot of bases. It is carbon plated, but it's going to last your 600 to 800 kilometers. So it's not going to be toast after, you know, a marathon build or a couple races like some of those elite styles are. So you get that carbon plate kind of snappy feel. They've gone to a wide base, so it's really stable. Guys, slower guys like me can really feel kind of fast but supported. I'd be more than happy racing a half marathon in this shoe. It has that carbon plate pop. It's an awesome, durable trainer. It looks freaking awesome. It fit really well. Could it have gone a little bit wider in the toe box? Yes, it tapers a little bit, but for the most part on the sales floor, it really wasn't a factor that came up. I know a bunch of people in our run clubs are in this shoe and absolutely swearing by it and loving it. Carbon plated, 600 to 800 kilometers, versatile for short and long runs. I see value there, and it's been checking out really well. So worth having a look at. And I guess I shouldn't have finished this way, but we're gonna do it. Oh no, I've got a couple more. So let's jump back. New Balance, good for you. New Balance, not so good. The New Balance 1080. Now this is another shoe that came out late 2023. I'm gonna loop it into 2024. The 1080 V13. The 1080 has always been one of our best fitting, best selling shoes. It's this heritage model. We've had it in stock, you know, since we've opened. And the V13, it just got so soft, way too plush. The toe box was a little bit narrower, and this thing was just squishy and malleable and just way, way too soft. Sure, there was every once in a while that customer was like, hey, I just want the softest thing in your store. And you're like, I got something for you. In this case, it's just too sloppy. It didn't fit feet very well. I couldn't confidently suggest it to people who need a little more support or a little more foundation. Just a couple months ago, the V14 came out. So yes, it came out in 2024, but late 2024. The V14, they listened. I think they finally admitted they went too soft with this version of Fresh Foam. The V14 firmed up and it's been a lot better. So yeah, not so good by New Balance, but hey, at least they're listening and learning and kind of flipping that and spinning out that new version with the feedback that we're looking for. So V14, V13, skip it, but go for the V14 because it is a little more supportive and structured. And then the last one I'm going to call out is, speaking of heritage shoes that we've had forever, is the ASICS Gel Nimbus, the Gel Nimbus 26. So we've talked about the Nimbus a lot. We have a video on our YouTube channel about it. The Nimbus was always this series that basically people would come in, they'd put one foot on and say, yep, where do I pay? It was the easiest thing. They were always consistent and never really changed too much. And then they broke it. And then years went by and they lost all the confidence. And then they came back with the 25. We love the 25, much better fit than it had been in years. It was soft, but it was still good. It wasn't 1080 soft. Then the 26 came out and they made pretty much the only changes they need to. They made the foam a little bit firmer, therefore it's a little more durable and a little more supportive. And they added a little more grip to the outsole. So again, a little more durable, not as slippery, especially on those morning runs. So the 26, the tongue is stretchy, the toe box is accommodative, the colorways that they came out were awesome. The hardest part about this shoe was keeping it in stock. It fit so many people came back happy with them. It checked all the boxes for that neutral cushion shoe that we're looking for. And that pretty much rounds out the top 5 with a little you could do better type shoes here. If you ran any of those shoes or one of your shoes isn't on the list, drop us a comment. Let us know what you think of it and why it should or shouldn't be on the list. And 2025 is around the corner. There are some huge drops. Run is going to be insane in spring. You can stay tuned here to follow along, get our opinions on these shoes. We thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you in the new year.